hot day. 30 degrees Celsius in the apartment today. I was getting really sweaty, but I stuck it out, didn't put the AC on. And it's getting nicer now. This breeze is great. I'm just enjoying a bit of it before it starts pouring. Alright, we are going to talk about this book. For this one, I kept a note as a bookmark, so I would write stuff on it anytime I had thoughts. And man, this is the best one in the series by far. And I feel like this is going to be hard to top with the whatever remaining books. 10 books? I don't know how many more there are. Wow. Let me go through my notes, because I don't really remember what I wanted to say. First, I might have mentioned this before. A great thing that I think distinguishes Matthew Scudder is he says something like that a lot. Like, there will be a conversation, they're talking about something, and someone will be like, "You mean like this?" And he'll just reply something like that. And that's so good. I feel like it's great every time it comes up. And it's only like once or twice a book, but it's great. What else? I appreciate that because he's a private eye and he's no longer a cop, he is able to bribe cops to get access to their resources by offering them credit for solving the crime, because he can't take it. He shouldn't be investigating the places that he is, because he's not an official private eye. He doesn't have a license. He says, the way he says it, he always says he just does favors for friends. And he was able to bribe that cop, Joe Durkin, in this story. And it worked out well. Man, what else? Jan was in this, which was amazing to see another character appear again, recurring. I hope that she continues to be in the story. She was 6 months sober in this one, and she really helps him out. He made it through the second half of this book without getting a drink. 11 days sober, he said, and she was a big part of that. I think New Yorkers are like those rabbits. We live here for whatever it is that the city provides, the culture, the job opportunities, whatever it is, and we look the other way when the city kills off our friends and neighbors. Oh, we read about it and we talk about it for a day or 2 days, but then we blink it all away, because otherwise we'd have to do something about it, and we can't. Or we'd have to move, and we don't want to move. We're like those rabbits, aren't we? I wrote down, he goes to Jan instead of the bar. I wrote, it was a different jacket, yes. Emerald significance or coincidence, yes. So Scudder ends up at a crime scene the same time as the cops, and for a couple pages it's just the cops talking and Scudder's just like silently looking, and it's so interesting seeing how different the dialogue is with the cops than when Scudder is leading the story. And there was just a lot of banter and a lot of crass humor, and they felt sort of more jaded than Scudder actually was, even though he's supposed to be the jaded one. It was interesting. And it painted Scudder in a better light, actually, comparing him to the cops. And it's clear how he operates differently, but it's also clear what remains of his training, you know? And then there was the tension about when he would shoot a gun again, because he hasn't in however long it's been since the accident. And it was great tension because he came upon the possession of a gun and he could not get himself to shoot it. He did shoot the gun in self-defense in the final moment. He was able to do it. And he didn't feel good about it, which was interesting. And I think that aligns with my views as well. He didn't want to shoot it, but he had to in the because the psycho murderer was about to kill him. There's also his anxiety with reading bad news all the time, because he's always reading the newspaper and it's just full of terrible things happening. And someone just tells him simply, Jim tells him, if you don't like the bad news, don't read about it. And that's good advice. It feels accurate nowadays, maybe even more. It was pretty progressive about the trans character in the story. They were dead, so they didn't get any character development, but everybody used like proper pronouns, especially Scudder, which was interesting for a story from the late 70s. Maybe he's in the 80s now, I'm not sure. But the best part, I think, the whole story, the best part is this tension where every meeting, AA meeting that he goes to, it gets to his turn. And throughout the meeting, he's never really listening. I mean, he listens to what people say, but he's also narrating in the story, saying like, this and this, these are terrible things. Like I want to talk about these. But then whenever it gets to his turn, he says, "Hi, I'm Matt. I'll pass. I'll just listen today." And it's so well done because it happens it starts off a little irregular, but then he starts going to more meetings and it happens every time. And then it's just like, it was, I don't know, it becomes a motif, I guess. And finally, at the end, he finally gets to the last meeting, having solved the murder and having killed the murderer. He says, "And then it was my turn. 'My name is Matt,' I said, and paused and started over. 'My name is Matt,' I said, and I'm an alcoholic. And the goddamnedest thing happened. I started to cry." That's the end of the story. Those are the last words. Amazing. That because the beginning starts with him in a meeting. And that was so satisfying. Yeah, the one here, he says, "My name is Matt, I'll just listen tonight." So good. In the very beginning. And then it happens at the end. Amazing arc, amazing character development for Scudder. Somehow, throughout all these stories, Scudder still is a refreshing character, even though in most of them he had not really done much. He is sort of a passive, he solves the mysteries, but he is the character who we live in the shoes of for the story. Like he's got a life, but he is still sort of passive in the story because things have to happen, right? But in this one, he's made so many more decisions himself in this. It's not just the crime happening, but he's choosing to handle things a certain way. And I think this is the gold standard so far for this series. I am excited to continue reading, excited where it goes. This man is a genius. He's a great writer. I have not been pulled into a book series since The Dark Tower from Stephen King, and that was in high school. So this is great. I'm going to keep reading. I'll probably read all of them unless they start to get bad, but the internet says they're good. So I am in. And I already have 2 more here. Julia sent me a draft of her story, her full-length novel to read. So I'm going to read that before I get into anything so I can keep my headspace in just that story. But yes, this is good. If the last book was, I don't know, 4 out of 5, this is a 5 out of 5. Fantastic. I was at Harry's. We played Split Fiction. It was fun. I had a nice bike ride back. And as I was coming up, I saw a roach outside the steps, out front the door of my apartment. Not the building, but my room here, unit. And I saw it. It was just standing still. My shoe was next to it. I grabbed the shoe to try to hit it, but it started moving. And it's 11:30. And I already made noise bringing my bike in. And I was trying to be quiet, so I was not trying to slam the shoe. but I hit it a few times and it just kept scattering around. And then I trapped it under the shoe, and I got the shoehorn to try to like crush it while keeping the shoe down, but it escaped and it ran around some more, and I tried to hit it more, and then it went under the door, and now it's in my apartment somewhere, and I hate that. I hate that feeling. I have a hatred of roaches. Spiders are good. I love spiders, but I cannot stand roaches. And I wish sometimes that I could have a tarantula and just like let it out to feast on the roaches when they're here. There's not a lot of them. I haven't seen one in a while, which is nice, even though it's been so rainy and it's been so hot. But this is the first one I've seen in a while, and now it's in my apartment, and I sleep on the floor, and I hate that it could crawl up to me. Ugh. It takes me a little time to forget about it, but I know tomorrow, I feel like I heard it pretty bad. Tomorrow, I bet I'm going to see it dead somewhere. I just hope it's not, like, I wake up and roll over and it's on my bed next to my face. God, I hate that. I've drank so much water today. I've just been sweating. Because it is 32 Celsius. Normally, I would not be able to withstand this temperature. But because my head is shaved, it's not nearly as bad as I remember 90 degrees being, and I still haven't turned the air conditioner on this season, and I'm feeling good about that. I'm trying to go as long as I can. But the feeling of the bed sheets on my back just creates too much sweat. So today, June 21st, 11:18 p.m. is the first day of the summer. Talk with her, don't talk to her. It's full of nothing words. She begs me for an answer. I leave her with her silence worse than choking on my nothing words. Next year, try to go longer if you can, but climate change won't make that easy.